The complete works of Swami Vivekananda, Sankhya and Vedanta, Part 3. The first point we contend with Kapila is his idea of God. Just as a series of modifications of Prakriti, beginning with the individual intellect and ending with the individual body, require a Purusha behind, as the ruler and the governor, so in case of the cosmos, the universal intellect, the universal egoism, the universal mind, all universal fine and gross materials must have a ruler and governor. How will the cosmic series become complete without the universal Purusha behind them all as the ruler and governor? If you deny a universal Purusha behind the cosmic series, we deny your Purusha behind the individual series. If it be true that behind the series of graded, evolved individual manifestations, there stands one that is beyond them all, the Purusha who is not composed of matter, the same very logic will apply in case of universal manifestations. This universal self, which is beyond the universal modifications of Prakriti, is what is called Ishvara, the supreme ruler God. Now comes the more important point of difference. Can there be more than one Purusha? The Purusha we have seen is omnipresent and infinite. The omnipresent, the infinite cannot be two. If there are two infinites, A and B, then infinite A would limit the infinite B, because the infinite B is not the infinite A, and the infinite A is not the infinite B. Difference in identity means exclusion, and exclusion means limitation. Therefore, A and B limiting each other ceases to be infinities. Hence, there can be but one infinite, and that is one Purusha. Now we have to take up our X and Y and show they are one. We have shown how what we call external world is X plus mind, and the internal world Y plus mind. X and Y are both quantities unknown and unknowable. All difference is due to time, space and causation. These are the constituent elements of the mind. No mentality is possible without them. You can never imagine or never think without time. You can never imagine anything without space. And you can never have anything without causation. These are the forms of the mind. Take them away and the mind itself does not exist. All difference is therefore due to the mind. According to Vedanta, it is the mind, its forms that have limited X and Y apparently and made them appear as external and internal worlds. Both X and Y, being both beyond the mind, are without difference and hence one. We cannot attribute any quality to them because qualities are born out of the mind. That which is qualityless must be one. X is without qualities. It only takes qualities of the mind, so does Y. Therefore, these X and Y are one. The whole universe is one. There is only one self in the universe, only one existence. And that one existence, when it passes through the forms of time, space and causation, is called by different names: Buddhi, fine matter, gross matter, all mental and physical forms. Everything in the universe is that one, appearing in various forms. When a little part of it comes, as it were, into this network of time, space and causation, it takes forms. Take off the network and it is all one. Therefore, in the Advaita philosophy, the whole universe is all one in the self, which is called Brahman. That self, when it appears behind the universe, is called God. The same self, when it appears behind this little universe, the body, is the soul. This very soul, therefore, is the self in man. There is only one Purusha, the Brahman of the Vedanta. God and man analyzed are one in it. The universe is you, yourself, the unbroken you. You are throughout the universe. In all hands you work. Through all mouths you eat. Through all nostrils you breathe. Through all minds you think. The whole universe is you. The universe is your body. You are the universe both formed and unformed. You are the soul of the universe and its body also. You are God. You are the angels. You are man. You are animals. You are the plants. You are the minerals. You are everything. The manifestation of everything is you. Whatever exists is you. You are the infinite. The infinite cannot be divided. It can have no parts, for each part would be infinite. And then the part would be identical with the whole, which is absurd. Therefore, the idea that you are Mr. So-and-so can never be true. It is a daydream. Know this and be free. This is the Advaita conclusion. I am neither the body nor the organs, nor am I the mind. I am existence, knowledge, and bliss absolute. I am He. This is true knowledge, all reason and intellect, and everything else is ignorance. Where is knowledge for me? For I am knowledge itself. Where is life for me? For I am life itself. I am sure I live, for I am life, the one being, and nothing exists except through me, and in me, and as me. I am manifested through the elements, but I am the free one, who seeks freedom, nobody. If you think you are bound, you remain bound. You make your own bondage. If you know that you are free this moment. This is knowledge, knowledge of freedom. Freedom is the goal of all nature.